Well, sale time, ladies and gentlemen, sale time. Sale time. The auction will commence immediately on this magnificent deck. Oh, are you? Thank you. Madam, it would... No, madam, unfortunately we have an advertised starting time for the auction. It must commence. As you're very far away, because the proceedings will take just a couple of moments. We'll go through the formalities. We will have to deem, though, once he does arrive, that you will be able to pass on those the legal side of the auction prelude. But we must commence the proceedings immediately, and you will find that he's probably got another 5 or 6 minutes before we get under the bidding. Unfortunately, I cannot delay it, madam, but you will be able to bid on his behalf if you wish. Don't want to do that. Thank you. Well, again, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Good afternoon and welcome to Bella Vista, 20 Grange Avenue, Taroona, for the auction this afternoon. My name is Michael Davoren, Principal Auctioneer of LJ Hooker in Queensland, and for the next 20 minutes, Tasmania. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure, on behalf of the vendors, to offer this magnificent residence for sale, and also on behalf of the officers that have been offering the property throughout the marketing period. And that, of course, is Edwards and Windsor First National. Mr. Robert Windsor is here with us, but for the sake of my job, it is also today in conjunction with LJ Hooker Sandy Bay, and Mr. Peter Baker is here with us as well. Ladies and gentlemen, our agenda for the auction today is very, very simple. Firstly, I'll read to you the conditions of sale of real property by public auction in Queensland. And it is no doubt, you look like there's a good bunch of old auction warriors around the room here today, and you've probably heard the conditions many, many times before, but they are extremely important conditions, and they are the conditions under which you'll be asked to act today. So I do ask you, when I read them, please listen to them very, very carefully. I will give you a précis version of those conditions. The conditions in full have been on the board here for your perusal prior to auction, and I will be deeming that all bidders are aware of those conditions and will be bidding under those conditions, knowing the consequences thereof. But I will draw your attention to the more pertinent details of those. Once I have done that, I'll then give you the details of the contract of sale, which has been prepared on the Real Estate Institute copyright form of contract of sale, as approved by the Queensland Law Society, Edition 2. And again, ladies and gentlemen, the schedule and the standard conditions, number 1 to 40, have been here for your perusal prior to auction. I will then give you a brief description of the property. Your eyes will at all times do a far better job than an auctioneer's mouth in the description of this style of home. But I will be deeming, ladies and gentlemen, that all bidders are relying entirely on their own inspections and investigations of both the documentation and the property itself. When I have finished that, I'll then move through to the public auction. And ladies and gentlemen, it will be your turn to do the talking. I do ask you in your bidding, though, there has been significant interest prior to this auction. I do ask you, it would be very much to your benefit to indicate the interest that has been prior to auction in your bidding. If for no other reason, if we don't happen to get to the reserve price this afternoon, then the highest bidder shall have the first opportunity to negotiate at the reserve price, and the rest of us will have to stand in line to see the outcome of those negotiations. But firstly, ladies and gentlemen, the conditions of sale of real property by public auction in Queensland and for today, Tasmania. 1. The highest approved bidder shall be the purchaser, subject to the approval of the vendor and the reserve price. 2. Where any person is bidding on behalf of another person, the bidder must first provide the auctioneer with a copy of his written authority to bid and enter into an agreement for sale and purchase of the property prior to the commencement of the auction. Otherwise, the bidder may be deemed to be bidding on his or her own behalf. I'll move to 4, which states that the auctioneer may at his discretion refuse to accept any bid from any person, and no bid accepted shall be retracted without the consent of the auctioneer. Through to condition number 6, if any dispute or difference shall arise as to the highest bidder, the auctioneer may reopen the bidding and resubmit the property, commencing with the highest amount previously bid for the same, or he may decide on the highest bidder in such other manner as he in his absolute discretion shall deem fit, and the decision of the auctioneer shall be final. Ladies and gentlemen, 7 states that the right to bid for and on behalf of the vendor is expressly reserved. 8 moves on to basically say that immediately upon the fall of the hammer, the purchaser shall forthwith thereafter pay the deposit required to the nominated stakeholder. And number 10 shows that if the purchaser does not pay the deposit required, that a property may be resubmitted afresh to public auction at the risk and expense of the purchaser, as if the property had never before been submitted. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, number 11 shows that the conditions to apply to the agreement for sale and purchase are as contained in the Real Estate Institute of Queensland Limited's copyright form of contract of sale, numbers 1 to 40 inclusive. I do ask you all to feel very relaxed and comfortable here today, ladies and gentlemen. If you have any queries or questions in relation to either the legal consequences of the auction or the physical presence of the property itself, I do ask you to please to ask those away. If you do have any, I'm sure I'll certainly do my best to answer them. If I can't, we have the principals of those firms that I mentioned earlier with us, and we can refer them to them if I'm unable to do so. The details of the contract, though, do show that the stakeholders should be Edwards and Windsor First National. The address of the property is known as Bella Vista, 20 Grange Avenue, Taroona, and it is currently zoned closed residential, and the current use is for house or cottage. It is in the town of Taroona, ladies and gentlemen, and the title reference describes the property, including volume 2896, folio 64 and 65, which obviously indicates that there are two separate titles involved in this sale today. The total land area content is a massive whopping 13,158 square metres, or 3 1/4 acres for those of you that are as old as me, and individually 64 has 4,563 square metres, and folio 65 has 8,595, which basically is a total of 13,158 square metres. It is a freehold holding. It is under the municipality of Kingborough, and ladies and gentlemen, the nature of the buildings is, as you've inspected it and can see, it is a brick and tile residence and garage. There are two exclusions from the normal inclusions of the copyright form, and they are the two chandeliers that are currently hanging in the formal dining room and the formal lounge room, but all other light fittings, carpets, drapes, etc., which are the normal inclusions in the copyright form, are included in the sale for today. There are no other chattels included in the sale, ladies and gentlemen, but I would point out that the title search has shown a number of easements which are on the property. Folio 64 shows that there is right of carriageway, one right of carriageway and one right of carriage and a footway, and also two drainage pipe easements for both access to it and right of way. And the folio 65 also has one right of carriageway and one right of foot and carriageway, and also two drainage pipeline easements, including the one for access thereof. Ladies and gentlemen, the contract here is not subject to finance, and therefore items S, T and U have been struck from the contract, and standard condition number 32 does not apply. Also, this contract is not subject to a building report, and therefore item W has been struck also from the contract. They are the formalities, ladies and gentlemen. That's the easy part of the day for me. They are the formalities of the contract. If anyone has any questions in relation to that side of it, I'm only too happy to help them with those.
Thanks, sir. I would like to buy the property, but I want to be able to sell off the front block. I understand that that's landlocked, and to be able to fund the purchase and then to sell it off. Can you explain to me how I go about doing that?
Yes, sir. There is a problem there that has cropped up under the title search, and I have talked about that with the principal of the two companies involved in the sale. And it is certainly true that when the subdivision of the land was done, it does appear that the vacant lot does not have access or does not have right of way across the access through to the street of the other part of the block. So it would be in your interest to be able to create a right-of-way carriage through not so much the subdivision, but when the splitting of the two titles. I think you would have to arrange for you to be able to do it. You would have to arrange for the right-of-way, both carriage and footway, across part of that land that is actually on the second title deed that we are selling today. But I don't believe that is a problem. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, as I mentioned, that is the easy part. One only has to read the conditions of sale. One only has to read the contract, but it is a far more difficult job description to do a description of this particular property. In fact, it often seems an injustice to reduce a property like Bella Vista to a few words from an humble auctioneer. But suffice to say, ladies and gentlemen, that Bella Vista is much, much more than just a lovely view. It is, in fact, a statement of lifetime. It is a statement of lifestyle. It is a statement of success. It is a statement of class. It is a statement of taste. And most importantly, it is a statement of individuality. There is no doubt that ownership of Bella Vista is stamped with success that only very few of us could ever hope to achieve, and most of us dream about. There is no doubt that the class of this residence oozes from every square inch that you walk upon it, from the time you enter it to the time you leave it. There is no doubt that the current owners have imprinted a quality of taste on this particular home that exudes elegance and gracious family living, and I make the very, very important emphasis on the word family. It is a massive home that has been designed for entertaining, both internal, both external, also AM, PM entertaining, but certainly with the emphasis on the family. It is most importantly, though, ladies and gentlemen, that Bella Vista is steeped in individuality. Individuality begins in a spectacular fashion as we enter the property through the meandering snake-like drive that is over to our right-hand side here. It leads to the home, which is perched high on these two blocks, perched right up high to take full advantage of its north-northeast aspect across the Derwent River and across to the land on the other side. It is that sort of location that makes this particular property a one and one only. How many homes can offer not only that style of position, but also an array of physical aspects that far too many for me to give to you here today. But suffice to say a few of them, including the foyer that welcomes people into the house, a beautiful big wide open foyer. Off to one side is the cloakroom, the formal cloakroom and guest powder room. And off to the other side is an office beautifully located for anyone that should happen to be using the premises for some home occupation or wanting to do that style of thing. If we move to the right-hand side down the wing, the accommodation wing, we see the second, third and fourth bedrooms all have magnificent views across the common, across the river and through to the land on the other side. All those bedrooms have a beautiful big double built-in cupboards. You move further down that aisleway, you come to the master suite. I refuse to call it a bedroom, it is certainly a master suite. It does include, of course, the sleeping area, the walk-in dressing robe, and of course the ensuite as well. Not only that, but when we move back down to the centre of the house, we have the gracious living rooms, we have the beautiful formal dining and living rooms, lounge rooms that each share not only that view that I've already talked about, but also a double-sided fireplace, which is absolutely magnificent. We also then move through to the handily located kitchen, which is just around the corner from that. And obviously this kitchen has been designed by someone that knows how a kitchen is supposed to work. I mean, this really is, it has its own huge pantry room. It has a massive bench space, a massive cupboards. It has, but also where the heavy work's to be done, where the sink is and the incinerator and all the heavy work's to be done, it just takes total advantage of the magnificent views out across that common, the pool, a great view across the pool area as well. Just beside that is a wonderful informal eating area, and that then leads through to a magnificent family room with, again, the third fireplace. All those rooms continue to have the view. We have then moved downstairs for those times when the kiddies grow up and you want to get them from underneath your feet and put them underneath the house. There's a magnificent area downstairs, and it also has its own bathroom and toilet, and of course it has, again, you guessed it, another fireplace. We move out from there and into there is just under the rest of the house is a huge storage area, would make for an enormous cellar if you were that way inclined. And also it moves then through to the pool. The pool is heated, solar heating from the roof, and all that area there is just absolutely ideal for the outside entertainer. If we can just quickly come back upstairs to where we're all standing now, a very large deck, and I can assure you, but it is a magnificent deck and a magnificent paved area that really does top this house off. There are a lot of extra features that just bring this property into a class of its own. They, of course, there's the multi-car accommodation. There is the central heating, the most subtle of all heating. The central heating is right throughout the house. There is storage space aplenty, up and down the hallways, in the bedrooms, underneath the house. There is storage aplenty, and that is always one of the big criticisms that people have of some of these houses. There's never enough cupboards. I can assure you, ladies and gentlemen, it's not here. How many properties can offer you this location? How many properties can offer you these physical aspects? And of course, the atmosphere of living on 3¼ acres or 1.3 hectares, protected on one side by a reserve and a creek, and also enveloped in a mass of beautifully matured trees and wonderful rows and other styles of gardens. Ladies and gentlemen, while it would be probably an exaggeration for me to call this a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, let me tell you that properties like Bella Vista do not come around very often. The turnover of properties in Taroona, which is one of the most sought-after suburbs, if not the most sought-after suburb in Hobart, is very, very seldom. That is why it is a great pleasure for us, and I do thank the vendors for favouring us with their instructions today. And ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure, on behalf of the vendor and on behalf of Edwards and Windsor and First National, and on behalf of LJ Hooker, Sandy Bay, to offer this magnificent property for sale by public auction. And ladies and gentlemen, in my normal fashion, I would prefer that you start me up and away wherever you feel most comfortable. Ladies and gentlemen, can I see an opening bidder offer, please? Somebody start me up and away. Where do we go? Entirely in your hands, ladies and gentlemen. Can't go without you. What do you say now? Start me up and away, ladies and gentlemen. As long as it's within reason, of course. I'm happy to start where you will. Can I see an opening bid? Very quiet. What do you say now? Entirely in your hands, ladies and gentlemen. There's been an enormous amount of interest prior to auction. I would have thought that I remind you that if you do not happen to reach the reserve price today, then the highest bidder shall have the first opportunity to negotiate at that reserve price. The rest of us will be in line. Can I see an opening bidder offer? Somebody start me up and away then. Can I see an opening bid, ladies and gentlemen? Plenty of time, ample time, give you plenty of opportunity. What do you say now? I would have thought around about 500,000 to start me, ladies and gentlemen. You give me 500,000 and we'll start. What do you say now? See an opening bidder offer? In top $500,000 bid I have. At five, sorry I nearly missed you, at $500,000 bid now. At $500,000 bid, we'll take $25,000 bids, ladies and gentlemen. At $500,000, make no mistake, in the centre at $5 now. At $500,000 bid now, but $500 I hold and I look for $525 anywhere. At $500,000 bid now, but $500. At $500,000, ladies and gentlemen, if I don't see you, I asked you to give me a hoy. At $500,000 bid, and I look for $525 anywhere. At $500,000 bid, and what do you say now? At $500,000 bid. At $500,000 bid, madam, has your husband arrived yet? At $500,000 bid, he can't be far away. At $500,000 bid. At this rate, he'll have plenty of time. At $500,000 bid. At $500,000 bid it is. At $500,000 bid we are. At 500 I look for 25 and I've got 25 now. At 525,000 against you and everybody else for that matter. Bids here. 525 I look for 50 anywhere. 50 back at the starter. $550,000 bid. At $550,000 bid it is. At $550,000 bid, ladies and gentlemen, what do you say? At $550,000 bid it is now. At $550,000 bid you get 3 calls in this game and I'm going to show you how they go. At $550,000 bid, first call. I look for $25,000 bids anywhere. At $550,000, 575 I have. At $575 and against you now. $575,000 bid it is. At $575,000 bid now, bid 575. At $575 and look for 600 now. At $575,000, what do you say now? 575, 600 I hold. At 600,000, well bid. At $600,000 bid now. At $600,000 bid against you and everybody else. At 600, make no mistake, the bid is here. At $600,000 bid now, bid 600 I hold now. At $600,000 bid now, bid 600 I look for 25. At $600,000 bid now, bid 600 I hold now. At 625. At 625, there's a third in. At 625, a new one at 625, 50 now. At $650,000 bid is against you and everybody else. At $650,000 now. At $650,000 bid, and what do you say? I look for 675. At $650,000 bid now. At $650,000 bid it is. At $650,000 bid, first call. At $650,000 bid, what do you say? At $650,000 bid, second call. At $650,000 bid, and what do you say? Are you all done? All finished. At $675. At $675,000 bid now, but $675 it is. At $675,000 bid, and look for 700, rounded off 700 now. At $675,000, what do you say? At $675,000, look for 700 anywhere. At $675,000 bid. At 700, at 700,000, at 700,000 now. At $700,000 bid, and what do you say now? At $700,000 bid now, but 7 it is. At $700,000 bid now, and I'm still in 25s, ladies and gentlemen, at 700 now. At $700,000 bid against you, 700,000 bids here. At 700,000 now. At 700,000, look for 25 now. At 725 now, another one now. At 725, and look for 50 anywhere. At 725,000, what do you say? At 725, make no mistake, the bid is here. Come on, what do you say now? At 725,000. At 725,000 against you. At 725,000 now. Come on, madam, the glint in your eye tells me this is worth more than another 25,000 to you. At $725,000 bid, turn the glint to a glow, ladies and gentlemen, another 25. At 750. Worked. 750,000. $750,000 bid. At $750,000 bid, and what do you say now? At $750,000, I look for 75. At $750,000 bid against you, and against you, $750,000 bid. At, sorry? 10,000, sir. I'll take it at 760,000 now. At $760,000 bid I am. At $760,000 bid now, but 760. At $760,000 bid, and I'll do the same. I'll take 10 from anyone else. At 760 and 70. At 770, sir, against you and against you and against you. It's bids here. At 770,000, what do you say now? At $770,000 bid. At 770,000, sir, what do you say now? At 770 against you. 780 now. At $780,000 bid it is. At 780, rounded off to 800, might blow them out the door. At 780, what do you say now? At button. Take 10, sir, at 780, 90 if you wish. 780, 90, I might have to come back to you, sir. At 780, I'll take your 5 at 785. 785, sir, 90 if you wish. At 785, what do you say? At 790, at 790, 95 now, good bidding at 95. 795, round off to 800, sir, don't leave the gate open. At $795,000 bid, what do you say? What do you say? Very quiet. 795, what do you say now? 800, $800,000 bid now, sir, and against you. 800,000, madam, as your husband arrived. At $800,000 bid. At 800,000, and what do you say now? $800,000 bid, 5, sir. $800,000 bid. 2.5, sir, I'll take it now. It's $802,500 bid it is. At $802,500 and 5 from you, sir, if I may. $802,500 and 5 I have. $805,000 and 7.5. At $807,500 and 10 if I may. $810, sir, 12.5. $810,000 bid and 12.5 it is. $812,500 bid, and what do you say, sir? $812.5 and 15 it is. $815,000, sir, against you. $815,000 and 17.5 I may. $815,000 and 17.5, and what do you say now? $815,000, 17.5 if I may. $815,000, first call. $815,000, all against you, all in the centre, you're out. $815,000, make no mistake, the bid is here, sir. What do you say? $815,000 bid, second call. At $815,000 bid, are you all done, sir? What do you say? At $815,000, 17.5. Thank you, good bidding at $817,500 now. At $817,500, whoa, big shake of the head. $817,500, sir. $817,500, there's another shake there. $817,000, there's a glare there. The glint has gone from a glow to a glare. $817,500. $817,500 bid here, and make no mistake. At $817,500, sir, would it help you if I told you the property was on the market and I'm about to sell? He still says no. $817,500 bid. Well, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the vendor, it is my pleasure to announce that the property is about to be sold, and unless somebody gives me a higher bid right now, within the next 3 calls, the gentleman on the right will be the proud owner of Bella Vista. Ladies and gentlemen, at $817,500, make no mistake. No negotiations this afternoon. Are you all done? I'll take $1,000 to keep you in. $817,000 bid. Yes, first call. $817,000, sir. I've already announced the conditions. Bear with me. At $817,000, sir. Thank you very much. At $817,000, I hold you to your bid, sir. At $817,000, thank you, sir. I hold your bid. At $817, don't leave, sir. At $817, second call. At $817,000 bid. The salesman's got him, thank God. At $817,000 bid. Third and final call. Hey, all done. All finished. All silent. Sold to that gentleman down there, ladies and gentlemen.